MidAmerica Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake is presented by Cherokee Casino Grove and made possible by
At the MidAmerica Industrial Park in Pryor, there are over 100 jobs waiting for someone just like you. These are high-paying jobs that don't require a degree. With over 80 manufacturing plants to choose from, it's easy to find your dream career. Need training? Don't worry, because MidAmerica provides on-campus classes supported by employers. If you have recently graduated from high school and want to start a career in manufacturing, earning a great wage and benefits, visit MidAmericaDelivers.com to learn more.
Watched by viewers and members like you.
Coming up on Living Grand on Grand Lake, with copper-colored hair and a strong black coffee, nothing can stop this Grand Lake entrepreneur from following her dreams. Then we'll go just around the corner to find Grand Lake's favorite son and learn about life after politics. It can be a good thing when the big one got away, especially when the big ones are released by this team of experts. All this and more coming up on Living Grand on Grand Lake.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
Hello, I'm Christy Wallace. Welcome to another episode of the show where we show you all about living on Grand. Anytime she travels, Kelly Chandler always seeks out small, locally owned coffee shops. After moving to Grove several years back, Kelly started making plans to start her own coffee shop. Building upon her experience in the business world, Kelly took her passion for great coffee and food, sprinkled in her experiences visiting coffee shops all across the nation, and topped it off with her commitment to exceptional customer service. This turned out to be the perfect recipe for success for Copper's Tea and Coffee House. In just over a year, Copper's has become a daily addiction for many. From delicious coffee, smoothies, and fresh squeezed juices to sandwiches, crepes, and desserts, this female entrepreneur and her team have built a thriving business you definitely want to check out.
Wherever we would go, I'd always find the mom and pop coffee shops and sit there and enjoy the atmosphere, just nice and relaxing. And that's what we were shooting for here, a nice, relaxing atmosphere. Was living in Wyoming after California and just decided for a new life, came down here, had family here. So my daughter and I came down here and we started another new life and just loving it. I never thought about living here because it was a great place to visit. So, but then finally, you know, coming to the lake, it just has a lot of energy around here. And now living here, it makes sense to live near the lake and enjoy it. My daughter and I, we had discussed it for a while, and then finally the opportunity came up to get this place, and we jumped on it. And then we were gonna go one way, and then we thought, well, why not just do a coffee shop and offer food? And when I moved here 5 years ago, there was no coffee shop. So it took a few years, but then finally got a coffee shop, and so here we are. We spent 6 months trying a whole bunch of coffees. And then we came across the Black Rifle and we thought that it had the best flavor. And then plus it's a veteran-owned company. So that even made us more wanting to use it and stuff. And the Black Rifle, they hire veterans and they retrain them. And then they also help them with mental illnesses, PTSD, I mean, everything. And I thought, well, why not support a great cause anyways? You want the different layers. So you want a dark, you want a caramel, and like a chocolate flavor all in one shot. So when you're teaching somebody new, you have to tell them, well, we do like this in order to make it a great cup of coffee or a great latte or whatever it is.
I've known Kelly for a while. I own a carpet cleaning company. I went and cleaned her carpets initially, and talked her out of it, told her the carpets had already been cleaned like a week before, so there's no need to do it.
We met 5 years ago when I moved here. He was, I think, like the third or fourth person that I met here when I moved in town. And we just became friends, and then our friendship grew eventually, and now we are domestic partners, I guess is what you would call it.
Well, one thing that I know about Kelly, and when I first met her, she's good at implementing systems, creating systems, and working the systems. I mean, that's her attributes right there. So yeah, she's created the system of making the drinks, of creating the food, getting all the stuff out to the drive-thru in a timely manner.
He is, I guess you would say, he is the silent, not so silent business partner. But he also has helped me doing all the cooking in the last 9 months. And he helps, he's my PR man. That is where I like having Eric, is he's our PR man.
I'm always best at running my mouth, talking to customers, but unfortunately I've been in back cooking most of the time. I enjoy cooking, but I like talking to people more than anything. I'm a people person.
We've been open for a year here now, and it was the first couple of weeks of seeing the people coming in and thanking us and just everything, and then having to take care of everything. It sent it all to a different level. Well, I was originally thinking, okay, we need to put a kitchen in so I can make, do pastries and, because I love baking. And then we thought, well, if we have a kitchen, why don't we start making a few breakfast items? And then it just kind of snowballed. And we do quite a few breakfast items. And then we do lunch also, so. Right now, blended drinks are huge because of the heat. So we've been doing a blended toffee. So it's a toffee flavoring, and then it has toffee chunks in it, and whipped cream, and then toffee chunks all over the top of it. And then any of our blended. We do kids smoothies, we do cotton candy and bubble gum and gummy bears, and those go out a lot because, parents want to treat their kids too, so. It means a lot when we get calls or text messages on Sundays, because we're not open on Sundays, It's like, can't you go down and make me a coffee? I'm really needing it. And then come Monday, everybody's like, oh my gosh, we're so thankful you're open again. And so it really makes you feel good that they really, really want you here.
Copper's is open Monday through Friday from 7 to 2 and Saturday from 8 to 2. They're located at 3661 Highway 59 North in Grove. Follow them on Facebook to check out their daily specials. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more on Living Grand on Grand Lake.
And this is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
At the MidAmerica Industrial Park in Pryor, there are over 100 jobs waiting for someone just like you. These are high-paying jobs that don't require a degree. With over 80 manufacturing plants to choose from, it's easy to find your dream career. Need training? Don't worry, because MidAmerica provides on-campus classes supported by employers. If you have recently graduated from high school and want to start a career in manufacturing, earning a great wage and benefits, visit MidAmericaDelivers.com to learn more.
So one of the things that we have on Grand Lake is we have several businesses that are open in the evening in several places for people to go eat dinner by boat. So a lot of people don't boat at night, and one of the things to remember is no matter how familiar you are with the lake looks different every night because there's different lights on every night. So make sure you know where you're going, and obviously we discourage the consumption of alcohol and driving a vessel, but more importantly, make sure your vessel's set up to operate at night, and make sure you know how to operate your vessel at night. It's not uncommon for us to stop somebody out here that either don't have their navigation lights on or only have part of their navigation lights on, and they don't know how to turn them on. And not only is that embarrassing for them, but it's just tremendously dangerous for the other vessels that are out at night. And if you're going to be out at night, check your lights before you leave. It's a great idea to carry a spare bulb and the tools to change them because they do burn out at the most inopportune times. So again, if you're going to go out at night, know where you're going, be familiar with that, and make sure all the equipment on your vessel is working.
And now for the Living Grand on Grand Lake events page. Cars for Critters' 9th Annual Indoor Car Show at the Grove Civic Center is set for Saturday, August 29th, a benefit for Second Chance Pet Rescue. Free admission to the public to attend the car show, along with American classic and import cars, hot rods, and motorcycles too. There will be food, music, raffles, and dog adoptions of rescues wanting forever homes. To learn more, visit doitforthepets.com. Other favorite stops you'll continue to find still open and ready to serve you during your time at Grand Lake include when in Grove, be sure to stop in at the 1909 for the full gastropub experience. American food and craft beer made from scratch, with a menu ranging from pub-type snacks to some of the best steaks and salmon you'll find anywhere. Dine-in or carry-out is available. Fired Up at Grand Lake has a brand new location and ready to serve up the fun featuring paint your own pottery, Grand Lake souvenirs, and Lake Life home decor items. Plus, a party room, ideal for your child's next birthday party, or even a girls' night out. Look for them on Facebook for more details. Lupe's Mexican Restaurant is waiting for you for dine-in and carry-out. Tamales, nachos, all the standards, and as delicious as ever. They're open Tuesdays through Saturday for dinner. Give them a call to find out more. 918-786-8723. These and all your favorite spots in and around the lake are being safe, but available to make your visit to Grand Lake this season as memorable as any year. Welcome back to MidAmerica Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake, presented by Cherokee Casino Grove.
For decades, Littlefield's Corner has been the go-to for anyone looking for exceptional hand-cut meat, a quick bite to eat, or those needing to stock up on groceries, gas, and adult beverages. Growing up in the area, Rick Littlefield's family owned a farm just across the street from where the market's located. Rick started by opening a bait shop, and he continued to grow and expand the business into what is now the most popular market in the area. Running Littlefield's Corner would be enough to keep the average person busy, but not Rick Littlefield. He was talked into running for state representative by a couple of older mentors, and they must have known what they're doing because Littlefield spent more than 2 decades serving as a well-loved and respected senator and representative in the Oklahoma legislature. When term limits brought his successful and well-respected time of service to an end, Littlefield returned home to focus on his business and enjoying more time on Grand.
Back in 1972, I was a student at NEO in Miami, and I just felt that we owned the farm right across the road, and I'd always looked at this corner, and this had one time been a railroad going to Bernice across here, went through our farm, and this corner always attracted me as being something to develop here in the future. So I bought that land, worked hard, and got enough money to buy this 2 acres on the corner in 1972, built a store and opened in 1974 Easter weekend. So I've been here now 46 years on this corner. I like to say, lived here all my life, and these were gravel roads back when we were first here, and so, but we just opened really as a bait stand. And then when we tore down the old store to build the new facility, there were 6 pours of concrete. We'd added on 6 times, just kept growing. And finally we turned it into what we have today several years ago, and that's a market. We have a butcher 7 days a week. We have produce. We're really a market rather than just a C-store. I learned that you've got to take care of your customer. You've got to be precise on your hours, your work ethics, and hire good people. You've got to surround yourself with good people in any business, and we've been very, very fortunate in that area. In 1982, I was talked into running for the Oklahoma legislature. I would say the little old ladies, if you will, bless their souls, in Jay and in Miami. I was in the police academy at that time. I was also a deputy sheriff, still owned the store. I was doing 2 or 3 jobs. And they talked me into running for the legislature, and so that changed a lot of things. I spent 22 years, 10 years in the House, 12 years in the Senate in Oklahoma City. Well, I was strictly a neophyte in the fact that I had never been to the Capitol before in my life. And that was the first time I was ever there was when I went down to file. And, it was really a learning experience for a couple of years, but I surrounded myself with some good people in Oklahoma City, and very fortunate to get some leadership positions and move right up the ladder and then go to the Senate and serve my last 12 years there. I really like to solve people problems. So hands-on solving problems. It was amazing that a lot of times the legislator is the last person they call. They've tried to get a hold of everyone in the chain and with no success, and so we usually have to start in a pretty tough position in trying to solve a problem. But I enjoyed that as much as anything, solving the problems for people and building those relationships. And I was also a infrastructure guy. You know, roads, living on the lake here, it's so important to have good infrastructure, water, sewer, roads, those type things. And I dedicated every year down there, 22 years, I served on the Transportation Committee to help develop the lake area here with lake access roads and those type things. And as a result, there's been a lot of developments. It has grown tremendously, and certainly in this area, Grand Lake is our catalyst. It's our economic engine for Northeast Oklahoma. It's a different world today than it was back when I served, but I would tell my son that any elected official is only as good as those who surround him. And surround yourself with good people, honesty, never deviate from the truth, and be a workaholic to the district. I believe that they elect you, you ought to serve them in that capacity, and I would advise him to do those things. One of our biggest industries here on Grand Lake is retirees. And what a wonderful industry. There's no smokestacks. Checks are automatically deposited in the bank. It's a great economic development tool here in our area. And so I love our retirees, but I'm getting to that age that I would kind of like to join them just a little bit. And very soon, I hope. You know, listening to people. Still, I deal with the same people down there as I do here on a day-to-day basis, and they're my boss. They tell me what to stock in this store. They tell me what hours to keep the store open, and I listen because without the customer, I couldn't survive here.
Littlefield's Country Corner is located on the corner of Highways 125 and 85A on Monkey Island. They're open Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 and Saturday and Sunday from 6 to 10. You can reach them at 918-257-4010 for more information. To reach us, visit us on Facebook or at rsu.tv, where you can watch all of our past episodes. We'll be right back with more on Living Grand on Grand Lake.
And this is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
Grand Lake's newest destination for great fun is located just off the lake in Grove. At Cherokee Casino Grove, you'll experience exceptional food and outstanding service. Stop in to relax with your favorite drink and root for your team on the big screen. Experience live local music on the 1897 stage every weekend. Cherokee Casino Grove on Highway 59 at East 250 Road. It's the most fun you'll have off the water.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
Every day, the employees of the Grand River Dam Authority strive for excellence by focusing on the 5 E's: employees, electricity, environmental stewardship, economic development, and efficiency. We do this by producing low-cost, reliable electricity that touches 75 of the 77 counties in the state. At no cost to the taxpayers, we also manage 70,000 surface acres of lakes and the scenic Illinois River. Annually, the efforts of Team GRDA facilitate over $450 million in economic activity for Oklahoma.
Welcome back to MidAmerica Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake, presented by Cherokee Casino Grove.
Grand Lake is well known as one of the top bass fishing lakes in the country, and the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation is committed to making sure it stays that way. Josh Johnson, the Northeast Regional Supervisor of Fisheries, is an expert who spoke to us about largemouth bass genetics and what they're doing to enhance the fish available in Grand Lake, including their recent efforts to stock Grand Lake with a special species of largemouth bass from Florida.
Well, I think there's a lot of reasons why anglers come to Grand Lake. I think one major reason is Grand Lake is not only considered one of those top 20, 25 bass lakes in the United States, but major sport figures, celebrities, people that they look up to, they fish here in major tournaments. So any angler wants to go where the pros are, and the pros are going. So you got that. Number two, Grand Lake is so productive, and it's just so full of quality fish. Any angler can come out here and catch a 4, 5, or 6 pounder. It's not that big of a deal because we've got great habitat. The entire lake sets up pretty good. You don't have large dead zones. Almost anywhere you go on this lake, you've got this same probability of catching a good fish. It's large, it's beautiful, and the pros come here. So here we are at Grand Lake. It's the top largemouth bass lake in the state of Oklahoma. It's one of the top 20 in the nation, arguably. So what we're doing is we're trying to make it even better. And by doing that, we're trying to change genetics a little bit in these fish. So back in the 80s, we started stocking a Florida strain largemouth bass across the United States. It's worked well in the South. We found that there was another strain of largemouth bass. They grow bigger, and so they started moving all over the place. We started doing that at Grand Lake in the early 80s, being one of the best bass lakes around. Did it through 1998. So we stocked fingerling fish, 1.5-inch long Florida strain fish, into Grand Lake for 18, 20 years. It never worked. Some studies came out, and we found that there's a link between the heating degree days, basically your climate, and where these fish can survive. And it's the winter process that gets them. If the winter gets too cold, they're just not gonna make it through. What we're doing now is we have this opportunity to put fish that have been overwintered in a warmer climate into Grand Lake. It's largely an experiment, but it has been done at some other lakes locally. So we've done it at Uchi, we've done it at some other lakes in the northern portion of Oklahoma across the state. And we've seen genetic change over the past 3 years. So we're hoping it works here. The basic premise is that we put these fish that have already got the fat stores from a year of making it in a warmer climate, we put them in here where they can make it through the winter. They spawn with our native fish and they create an F1 generation, which is the first crossover between the Florida and the northern strain. And what you have there then is a fish that is capable of living in colder climates, but also capable of reaching those larger sizes. I would say that we're looking at possibilities of fish definitely greater than 10 pounds, all the way up to that 15-pound mark. Typical northern strain largemouth bass is probably going to top out about 7 pounds. But this is going to push that. If this works, this will push that to a higher level. Where? I guess time will tell. This could be a big attractant to more tournaments, more big competition. I mean, you're already at Grand Lake, so you've got the Bassmaster Classic that wants to come here. We've had them twice in the last 6 years. That's the biggest of all. We've got the Red Crest, which is the MLF version of their biggest tournament of all, coming this year. So is it going to change it drastically? I doubt it, because we're already at that level. It's going to keep it at that level and probably attract a lot more of your, not just local anglers, but anglers from around the way. I think it means a lot to us to see all the activity here. We spend more time on Grand Lake than we do any of our other lakes in the region. And that's not just because it's the largest, but it's because it's Grand Lake and it attracts a lot of people, and we want to keep it doing what it's doing. We want to keep it great. And so we're always doing habitat work. These aging reservoirs, you just lose habitat over and over and over the years. And so we have to constantly add habitat to it. So we're working on adding habitat. We sample these fish here through electrofishing and gill netting and trap netting for crappie more often than we do anywhere else in our region, because we want to be at the forefront and know exactly what's happening here. We want to know if something's going wrong or if we can better something. So of course we love to do anything that's going to get more people out here, and we love to see it when everybody's here.
Well, that's all we have for this edition of Living Grand on Grand Lake. Tune in next week as we continue to explore all things Grand. I'm Christy Wallace. Thanks for watching and supporting our show.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake. It's wonderful.
MidAmerica Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake is presented by Cherokee Casino Grove and made possible by.
At the MidAmerica Industrial Park in Pryor, there are over 100 jobs waiting for someone just like you. These are high-paying jobs that don't require a degree. With over 80 manufacturing plants to choose from, it's easy to find your dream career. Need training? Don't worry, because MidAmerica provides on-campus classes supported by employers. If you have recently graduated from high school and want to start a career in manufacturing, earning a great wage and benefits, visit MidAmericaDelivers.com to learn more.
Also by...
Every day, the employees of the Grand River Dam Authority strive for excellence by focusing on the 5 E's: employees, electricity, environmental stewardship, economic development, and efficiency. We do this by producing low-cost, reliable electricity that touches 75 of the 77 counties in the state. At no cost to the taxpayers, we also manage 70,000 surface acres of lakes and the scenic Illinois River. Annually, the efforts of Team GRDA facilitate over $450 million in economic activity for Oklahoma.
Plus by...
I had the drive to boost my earning power.
I was driven to be more competitive in the job market.
Finishing my degree, that's what drives me.
If you left college without a degree, Reach Higher, Oklahoma's degree completion program, can change your life. You get affordable tuition, flexible class schedules with online options, and a degree from a state university.
I was driven to earn my diploma.
And I did it.
Apply today at reachhigheroklahoma.org. Let your drive drive you.
And by viewers and members like you.